Welcome to the First Word Podcast, the sneaker show built by the community for the community. Hey man, it's not about resale, it's about the real, the people, the stories, and the culture behind what we wear. Your voice matters. If there's a topic you want to discuss, hit us up and be part of the conversation. This is your podcast too. Let's get into it. You ever realize how crazy we sound to people outside of the sneaker culture? Let's get into it. Welcome back to the First Word Podcast. I am your host, E. Reap. Yeah, I took an extended break. I'm not gonna lie, life was getting very crazy. And I didn't want episodes to feel rushed, or I didn't want to record out of obligation. Like, this is still supposed to be fun for me, and it is fun for me, and I want to keep it that way. So yeah, I just had to take a little, a little break, had to regroup, reset. And also, I was really working hard to reach that 100 download milestone. And once you reach a certain milestone you've been working hard for, you kind of just want to breathe afterwards, like a weight lifted off the shoulder. And that's pretty much where I have been the past few weeks. But like I said, we're back to your regularly scheduled programming. So yeah, episode 11, I wanted to keep it light. I want to get my rhythm back, get the flow back. A little layup, join, the free throw line. You got to watch the ball go through the hoop. So, yeah. Tell me you're a sneakerhead without telling me you're a sneakerhead. Although I do not like to use the term sneakerhead to describe myself, because I feel like that subgroup of people are very corny. Like, not saying that the people that I've connected through sneakers are corny, but like the people that use the term sneakerhead as like their identity, I think they are corny. But like sneakerheads in general, like the community and everything, I rock with y'all heavy. We know this throughout the years. There's been love on my side, vice versa. But just for the people that use the term as their identity, I don't like to, associate myself with them. But for the sake of today's topic and my collection or habits related to sneakers in general, I am considered a sneakerhead. So that out the way, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So I've done a lot of questionable things to the outside world when it comes to sneakers. I've never put sneakers or sneakers accessories or anything over food, but in undergrad at ODU, I definitely put purchasing sneakers over housing, which caused me to have to live off campus for the remainder of my tenure there. To be honest, it was a mix of miscommunication or misunderstanding, and my priorities weren't, where they should have been. Because in the in the spot I was at, I thought that it was kind of like a lease renewal thing, kind of sort of. I didn't know that I was required to put down a deposit at the same time as my roommates. I thought, since they did it, I signed up. I thought we were going to be good. They were good. I was not. Lesson learned, and I would never put myself in that situation again. And it was one of those things, young, dumb. And yeah, that was the moment that really solidified my sneakerdom, my sneakerhead pass card, or whatever you want to call it. That was really a bonehead move, but we live and we learn. I mean, it worked out for the better. I definitely changed my ways since then, for sure. But that's one of the many notches on the sneakerhead list. What else we got? Scheduling your day based on sneaker drops. I still do that currently only when I'm off. Work is first and foremost, because if you don't have a job, you don't have income. you can't be a sneakerhead unless you're young and your parents or your family members, whoever supports you financially, then that's a different story. But for me, I'm buying everything, so without my job, I can't pay for it. But on my off days, I definitely schedule any type of errands or plans I have around certain, times of the day. Like if I'm planning on going to the gym or like recording content or anything outside of the crib, if there's a shoe that I want, I have pretty much like a 3 to 4 hour window that I got to be locked in, because we all know what the sneakers drop is at 10, and some boutiques might release early, 8 or 9, and then you have the random drops throughout the afternoon. Could be 11, could be noon, 1 o'clock. It just depends. So that is definitely something that is still alive and well for me, even to this day. In 2025, I'm still scheduling my off days around sneaker drops. Because, when you want a sneaker, I want to be able to actively attempt to purchase it. Now, whether I'm successful or not is a different story, but I at least want to put myself in the position to be successful. And it's so crazy just to think about it. It's like we as a collective really voluntarily, put our money up for grabs. And it's like we have to jump through hoops for companies to take our money and give us the product. Like, if you think about it that way, it's like we are adamant about giving away our money because, like, we want a particular shoe, whatever the release is, and it's like you're giving away hundreds of dollars. Well, you're willingly ready to give up those hundreds of dollars, and you get upset, or you might feel some type of way, or there's some type of emotional attachment to winning and losing. It's crazy. It's like we're really like, I get upset if I can't give a company my bread. And thinking about it out loud is very, very wild. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It makes sense to us. Like it's a close knit community, and there's like certain mannerisms and actions that won't make sense to anybody but us, and that's kind of like, that's the beauty of it. At the end of the day, there's certain stuff that makes sense to us. It's like an inside joke type thing. So, but that's definitely very, very prominent still. Stuffing your shoes after you take them off. I do that if like the paper is still in there, then I'll put it back like the shoe tree. I'll put it back in there, but it's not really a big deal for me. If I don't have paper in the shoe, it's not the end of the world. I know some people will make sure they stuff every single shoe, or they'll buy the shoe trees, the IKEA shoe trees, not a plug, but just for the sake of getting my point across. They'll buy the IKEA joints and stuff their shoes. Over time, I heard they kind of mess the shape of the shoe up, like it'll be morphed or disformed after a while. So if you're doing that, just be mindful of it. I know they have like the wooden shoe trees, and honestly, I don't care. Like, creases are going to happen. It's just the nature of the game. Like, if you wear your shoes enough, they're going to start getting creased up. Like, it is what it is. I personally don't care now. I know growing up, definitely that was like a big thing. You want your joints to be crispy. But at the end of the day, bro, creases are going to happen, especially when you got like certain grade of leather or grains of leather, however you want to word it. Some of them come like pre-creased or like wrinkled or whatever. So it is what it is to me. But that particular little mannerism or action or whatever, I don't really care about. Held a pair in the mirror like you were choosing a Pokemon. Now, that's definitely from, I want to say, like the swag era, when they like taking pictures, like you got a phone call, but your shoes are the phone. I definitely have pictures on Facebook like that. I know that recently became like a new trend on Twitter where like they were like showing like all the old pictures when like the grapes dropped and they put them in like the produce section or what else? The peanut butter and jelly KDs, the bread ones or fours, or aka the black cement and the playoff 11s. They would put them on the shelf with the bread because it's the bread colorway. What's another one? The Fruity Pebble LeBrons, bowl of cereal, Fruity Pebbles, stuff like that. I never went that far with it, but I've definitely taken pictures with like shoes up to my ear, like I was getting a call. Even the Fat Joe era, licking the bottom of the kicks, it was definitely crazy. Like, oh, just thinking about it now, you have no idea where those shoes were stored, what they went through prior to your purchase. So it's like licking the bottom of the shoe was definitely crazy. But if you're still doing that now, wow. I'm scared of you. Like, all jokes aside, I'm terrified because you have to be a certified psychopath if you're still doing that. But no judgment. Do what you do. But, still kind of crazy. Use undead stock in a sentence like it's normal. Undead stock is definitely still very, very important to today's like sneakers culture, sneaker society. Undead, and it's like the thing to do. I definitely make content around it. First Word Podcast is basically centered around unds in your shoe, like your first wear. So your first wear is going to be your unds moment, your undead stock moment. So I'm all for unds, undead stock. I don't say undead stock. I definitely say DS. Over the years we shortened it to DS, but we still use it very much to this day. Unds is still a thing. I don't know what else to say about that one. Double sock to make your shoe fit. Yes, I've done that. It definitely went from a casual thing to more of a athletic thing. Cause I like my shoes tight when I was hooping or playing volleyball. I definitely did the double sock thing. I don't like loose shoes when I'm playing. I feel like a tighter shoe is more secure. Whether the science disproves that's a myth, but I know a personal preference. Every time I hoop, even to this day, if I decide to go to the gym or whatever, I'm going to wear 2 pairs of socks. But as far as the sneakerhead thing, yeah, if you get a shoe that's a half size too big, definitely double sock it. So take up a lot of that room. I personally will put an extra insole in there as long as it's not uncomfortable to make it fit. Because, the sizing now is just so crazy. And with me being a 12, like more so 12 and a half, it's hard to get that perfect fit that I want. Because retail stores, normally you get a 12 or you get a 13. And that 13, for the most part, is too big. Here and there, it just depends on how, everything fits. But I'd rather do a 12 and a half if I can. So now I'm on the side of taking out that insole, man. It's like, if you made it this far, man, make sure you're following First Word Podcast on all your socials. Drop a rating. Share the pod with somebody who loves kicks, man. That's how we keep the culture moving. All right, back to the action. That's not my it's not my go-to. Like, I don't want to purposely, like, buy a shoe too small, like a half size too small, just to take the insole out. I would rather wear the shoe with everything still attached to it. But like I said, when you're blind purchasing stuff online, you're not sure how it fits, and I can't get that 12 and a half. My 12 is my default size. So if I do happen to get a pair size 12 and they're like maybe a little too snug, I will pop the insole out. I prefer to swap it out with a thinner insole, so that's what I do for the most part, unless the the actual midsole or the insole of the shoe, the actual the the shoe itself, if it's padded, there have been a few times where I popped the insole out and you really couldn't tell the difference once you put the shoe on. So stuff like that, if I have to, then yeah, I will keep the insole out, but I like to swap it out with like a very, very thin insole just so I have some type of barrier. But yeah, I've done both. Double socked it up to make the half size fit a little better, and take the insole out to to make it a half size bigger. Like, hey, those things happen over time, man. That's what happens when you're a sneakerhead. It is what it is. Try the shoe on to walk around the crib. I've done that before for sure. Because depending on what I was doing, like if I knew I had to be out for a while and there'd be a lot of walking or standing involved, you definitely want to get a shoe that is going to be comfortable. So if there was a particular shoe, like a different silhouette, maybe a different brand that I wasn't familiar with, and I knew I was going to have to be in that particular shoe for a while, then yeah, I would test them out first. I definitely miss working full time in retail for that reason because one, that helped me eliminate a lot of unworn shoes in my collection. Prior to 2020, I took pride in not having more than like 2 or 3 unworn shoes at a time because I buy my shoes to wear them. So working in retail full time, I'm in the mall, 5 days a week, I would be able to break in the new pairs at work. So when it was time for me to rock them outside or whatever, they were already good. So that was my like workaround from like, walking around the crib in them, but I could really get a good idea of how they would perform. But yeah, definitely done that too. So if you're watching this or listening to this podcast, please don't hesitate to add any other, examples of being a sneakerhead that I didn't touch on this list. Like I just wanted to give a few examples. There are like plenty of examples to choose from. But if I missed anything, you had something special, let me know. Please drop in the comments. Let me know. Also, I've made my own sneaker cleaner. I've had that plastic cup and toothbrush under my sink with the craziest chemical mixture of all time, but it worked. You know what I'm saying? Like it got the job done. I've definitely, when I was rocking Forces Heavy, when we were in that era with the dark denim, I taped the bottom of the jeans on the inside of my jeans. I definitely taped them to try to create a barrier so the jean dye didn't get on the shoes as much as it would have if I didn't have a barrier. Because then you wear a pair of new jeans, I was not washing them. I wanted those to be the darkest denim of all time. Like they were brand new jeans. In retrospect, you definitely should have washed them first before wear. But during that time, it was all about being crispy. So the night before I wore them, I definitely found some masking tape or duct tape, whatever I had, flipped the jeans inside out, and taped a good 4 to 5 inches, like from the bottom of the jeans on up. Just got a good barrier. So when I rock those fresh whites, it would be minimal dye transfer. And when I did, come back to the crib and I had to dye, toothpaste, either the cleaning concoction I had, toothbrush and the cleaning concoction, or I put a little toothpaste on it, and it did the job, especially after I, take the bottom of my jeans. So that's definitely another one. I'm not sure if that's like a standard one. That might just be exclusive to me or like a select number of people. But if you ever tape the bottom of your jeans on the inside so they didn't die, let me know. Anything else that I did that was weird or different? Oh yeah, before the shoe shields or the force fields, I would put plastic bags like the grocery bags. I would stuff them in the toe box of my Air Forces so they wouldn't crease because you didn't want creased up Air Forces. Those are the one pair of shoes that were really like frowned upon if you crease those up. So I definitely did that. Did I do anything else? I don't know. I think for the most part, that's pretty much that's all I can think of at the top of my head. Or like having a random shoebox full of like the Jordan retro cards. A lot of y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, a box of retro cards, any hang tags that came on the shoe, definitely laces. I feel like all sneakerheads have either a box, a drawer, a container, a bag, or something full of random laces because a lot of shoes now, they come with 2 or 3 pair of laces. And for the most part, once you pick one, that's pretty much it. You might switch it up down the line, but I know for me, once I switched out those laces initially, I'm not going back unless I'm trying to do like different looks or whatever. So for those particular shoes, I will like keep those laces together. I'll put them inside the shoe and put it back in the container, or just put them on the side of the container or whatever. But for those random miscellaneous shoelaces, I have them all in one area. So whenever I think I need a particular lace, I can go back to that and I'm good to go. So, switching gears a little bit. So that was just, an extended call out moment for the sneaker community. I feel like it'll be fun just to see what everybody's quirks, because we're all different but the same, if that makes sense. We're the same in the sense of shoes are definitely important to us for whatever reason. Could be expression, fashion statement, time pieces, because I feel like for me, I definitely have, it's a mixture of wanting to look clean, like appearance. You definitely want to put your best foot forward, as well as being able to have like a piece of history, even though it's not the same shoe that was released during that time. I can still say, hey, this particular shoe that retroed this year was worn by whoever during this time. I can look at a shoe and say, oh man, I remember when that debuted, or I remember the significance of the game that shoe was worn in, So, like I said, we're different but the same. And being in sneakers, definitely, attention to detail is definitely important. For most of us, we all have our own ways of doing things. I like my laces to be a certain way. I definitely want my shoes to be clean. Of course, wear happens, but I'm not going to put myself or my sneakers in harm's way. Like when it's raining or it's muddy, I'm not going to wear certain materials. I'm not going to take, certain routes. I'm not going to take shortcuts. I'm walking on that pavement as much as I can, unless it's like really dry, but I'm definitely taking the sidewalk all the way around. Definitely picky when it comes to certain brands, colorways, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, I take pride in my appearance, and sneakers elevates that for me. I like my outfits, or whatever I wear to make sense. I like the cohesion. Like, I want you to say, if you see me out in public, I want you to say, okay, he definitely took his time, or he was mindful and what he put on. He definitely put some thought behind it, you know. So I'm just a big fan of sneakers and clothing in general. It's gotten worse over the years. Shout out to my mom. She started it. She created this monster. As much as she doesn't agree with a lot of stuff, it's your fault. You know, I have a lot of shoes because you made me this way. But I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, sometimes I definitely think about, you know, what if I didn't care so much about shoes? How would my life be, you know? I wouldn't be in front of the camera making content, that's for sure. I wouldn't have this excessive number of sneakers in my collection. Because even 10 pair, one could say that that's definitely overboard. So the average sneakerhead is well over that. So it's like, dang, makes you think, right? But let's go ahead and get into today's social hour prompt. I don't want to keep you too long. Like I said, I just wanted to come back, get the ball rolling again. Because I'm happy to be, you know, back in front of the camera, back in front of this microphone, dropping a new episode. It's been too long. And I just wanted to keep it lightweight and fun. So yeah, today's social hour prompt, for those that are listening to the actual podcast on various streaming platforms, whatever you prefer, and for those of you that may stumble upon this clip on social media, what are you looking to get, or like, what do you expect from a sneaker podcast? For those that are new here, welcome. Appreciate y'all for giving me a chance. But the whole idea behind me starting First Word Podcast is, you know, I didn't want to be like every other sneaker podcast. Like, I am a huge fan of sneaker culture. I consume sneaker content, sneaker information daily. I make sneaker content, so a lot of the content I make and a lot of the content that I was consuming is repetitive. Like, if I make a video on my YouTube about what's coming out, what I just copped, and then I watch other people saying the same thing, or I listen to a podcast saying the same thing about what's coming out. Am I copping? Am I not copping? What's new? What am I looking forward to? I didn't want to come back to make a podcast and like continue that cycle. I wanted to be something different because I do that enough on my other channels. And like my peers or other content creators do the same thing. So I just wanted to switch it up. So with that being said, aside from the normal sneaker content, what are y'all looking for? I'm open to suggestions, criticism, new ideas. I definitely want to keep this community focused. I want this to be a collaborative podcast. Like, if there is a particular topic or a conversation you think that needs to be had in the sneaker community and within the culture, I am more than open to being that voice for you guys. So I've done it, you know, and I've gotten ideas in the comment section or through the Google form. I definitely do my due diligence and I actively check it, and I want to make sure that I listen, you know, I take the feedback or I take the topic submissions very seriously, and I definitely want to give my credit to the people that give me the ideas. So, like I said, going forward, just let me know what you guys are looking forward to hearing or what you expect from a sneaker podcast. Like, in general, aside from all the, you know, the information side of things. But yeah, that's going to do it, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And I appreciate you for being patient while I took my extended hiatus. But this is the First Word Podcast. Buy what you like, wear what you love. And catch y'all next week. That's a wrap on today's episode, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with the First Wear podcast. There's no culture without you. Don't forget to tap in with us every Tuesday, 8 a.m. for the audio, 6 p.m. Eastern for the video on YouTube. Catch y'all on the next one.